I'm pretty sure you guys had some sneakers that you guys saw when you were a kid that you did not get to buy and you totally wanted them. So I wanted to do this video on top 5 sneakers that I wanted as a kid. What is going on, guys? This is Hess from CollectiveKicks.com. Wanted to bring you guys a video today and go over my top 5 pairs of sneakers that I wanted as a kid that I did not get. So without waiting around, let's go ahead and jump into the countdown. Number 5 spot. For me, it was the Grape Air Jordan 5. The Grape 5s were definitely one that I really wanted. I had a neighbor kid that had a pair, and I was so jealous that he had them. He definitely was just a little snot-nosed little brat kid, and he got the freshest J's, and I was just like, man, I really wish I had those. But you could just tell when this kid wore his Air Jordan 5s that he thought he had so much more swagger than he really did. Like, he knew that we were looking at his shoes and we were jealous that we didn't have those shoes and he had them. It's almost like he felt like he was better than us, which is part of the reason why now I never look down on other people because they don't have the latest Jordans or whatever it might be. It's just one of those things. There's no ego for me ever, and part of the reason why is just coming from humble beginnings. There was just something so fresh about the Air Jordan 5 back in the day when these came out, and you could see the Jumpman through the bottom of the soles. The clear soles were just insane looking, and then you had that 90s cooling system with the vents on the side. Like, these were something that were imitated all the time. I remember I had the Pro Wing versions of these that had that fake plastic netting on the side. It was just terrible for 20 bucks. That's what I ended up rocking with back in the day. It was just terrible, man. So moving on to the number 4 spot. We have the Air Jordan 4 in the bread colorway. The Air Jordan 4 in the bread colorway was definitely a head turner for me. It was my favorite colorway out of all the Air Jordan 4s. I definitely like it better than the cements. I always just loved the overall look of the Air Jordan 4. The fact that the 3 started with the air bubble and the 4s had that crazy air bubble on the back, that was another thing that was really imitated a lot at Payless. They always had the fake versions with that fake air unit. That was just a little plastic thing that really had no air in it. I hated those things so much. We had a lot of neighbor kids growing up, and the one that I lived next to actually had the bread 4s, and it was one that I was like, man, I wish I had those. The Air Jordan 4 in the bread colorway was definitely one of the coolest shoes that were out at the time. And unlike now, where we're just overwhelmed in the market with so many different colorways of different shoes, back then it didn't really matter about which colorway you ended up getting. It was whether or not you could afford to buy any of them because they were in stock. They didn't sell out because the price points were really high. And because the market was just crazy. Like I mentioned, I get my $20 Payless shoes when you could get a $100 pair of Jordans. Like, it was crazy. The idea of spending $100 just on me, one kid out of a family of 4, just was not going to happen. The Bread 4 was definitely one that I loved to see. It was a great looking model. I love the aesthetics of that shoe, and to this day, it's still one of my favorite Air Jordan models. So moving on to the number 3 spot, we have the Air Jordan 6 in the black and infrared colorway. I think this was my favorite Air Jordan 6 back in the day, just because the colors popped so much, and I just remember seeing the materials on the 6s and how crazy they were. So we had the 4s, 5s, and now the 6s in the countdown. The 6s were kind of like a steady evolution of the Air Jordan line. You had the 4s that had the vents and the 5s that had that. The 6s did not have that ventilation on the sides, but they kept the clear soles on the bottom, which was passed down from the 5s, and it was just so dope the way that they ended up integrating the clear soles. I think that, I don't know why, even to this day, I'm still drawn to clear soles and glow-in-the-dark soles and stuff like that. But it was so cool how they ended up having that the clear soles on the 6s, and that was one of the features that I really liked. The overall materials, the design, the color, and everything else in between, those 6s were something else, and that colorway in particular. I actually sold my infrared 6s too that I had for my collection, but again, I plan on getting back the Nike Air ones whenever those end up dropping, and then just keeping one into rotation. Hopefully, Jordan Brand will release those eventually. So moving on to the number 2 spot goes to this shoe right here in this colorway, the Air Jordan 3 in the black cement colorway. This is the very first pair of sneakers that I actually remember seeing and knowing what an Air Jordan sneaker was. It was this shoe, this colorway. I didn't know about the Air Jordan 1s. I didn't know about the 2s, but when these ones came out, my neighbor had these ones, and they were fresh. The Air unit was insane, how they had this visible air unit. You definitely could believe you could fly with something like these. It was such a crazy cultural shift for people because this was a shoe that people really, really wanted, and they didn't want these just to play basketball. You wanted these just to be able to wear to school or whatever else. I don't know if anybody can relate to this, but I was only allowed to get one pair of shoes back in the day, indoor and outdoor, and this would have been my choice for sure. The visible air was definitely the part that drew myself to the shoe. It was just so crazy. And the elephant print, it's weird that elephant print would be the staple that it is today, because it was such a cool design on a pair of sneakers back then. It was then and it is now just so identifiable to Jordans in the Air Jordan 3. Tinker Hatfield was pretty much amazing and really an integral part of Nike and Jordan brand to become the mega giant that they are today because of crazy innovating products like this. So definitely one of my favorites of all time. So the number one spot on my list is not actually a pair of Jordans. They came in this box back in the day. And you can see the 180 right there. And you can see this is the pair of sneakers right here. I do have these in my collection, and I definitely would never let these go because the condition is so good. And here we have it. This is the Force 180s, and this is the pump version that David Robinson used to wear back in the day. Something fun, you could see the poster with David Robinson, and he's wearing the shoes right there in this poster. And it has a little pamphlet. I wish they would come with some of these things now, but it has a little bit about the shoe. And you can see David Robinson playing them. I actually have these sweatpants for these also, which is crazy. It would be rad if I had the track jacket for this as well. You can see right here a breakdown of the system involved with these. So these ones were insanely expensive back in the day. And I still remember there was a guy on my basketball team in I think 7th or 8th grade that actually had these. They were just so wicked looking. And the fact that David Robinson played in these, if you guys remember David Robinson with the rolled socks, like he was my guy. Like everybody loved Jordan and stuff too. Obviously I did as well. But David Robinson was the guy that I thought was one of the best players out there. And the fact that he had these made these ones the ones for me to want to get. And of course they were just crazy expensive. And they had the pump. You would pump it up right here, and then you'd have the release valve right here. Nike retroed the Command Forces, but not these 180s. And these are the ones that I really, really like. So hopefully they never retro them, but you know they probably will. This is one of the best looking ones that I've ever seen in like condition wise, because most of the time they're always just destroyed and the midsole's cracked. But the midsole on these are perfect as well still. I really wanted these ones again because I was such a fan of David Robinson when I was a kid. And because of that, these ones were the absolute must that I wanted to get. But my Pele shoes got me by. I didn't really love playing in those. I would have much rather had some of these. But that is my top 5. 4 pairs of sneakers that I wanted when I was a kid. And I want you guys to leave some comments in the comment section. Let me know what pairs of sneakers you guys wanted when you were a kid. If you're older dudes like myself, I'd love to see those comments. Younger dudes as well. What pair of sneakers did you guys really want that you guys missed out on when you were younger? And hopefully you guys enjoyed the series. This was suggested from you guys, so I appreciate y'all. If you have a suggestion for a future Top 5 Tuesday video, go ahead and leave those in the comment section as well. I will check those. And if you guys like the suggestions you see, hit that thumbs up button so I can see them easier. Much appreciated if you do that. At this point, if you guys want to check the playlist on the screen, you can see my other Top 5 Tuesday videos. And we will catch you guys for some more videos soon. Be sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.